Hey everybody, first time live. I don't actually know if anyone will join us on here, but if you do, please feel free to throw a hello in the comment. Let me know you're here, thumbs up, whichever you would like. Just making sure we're up and good and all set. Happy Saturday, everyone. So this is our first opportunity to sew together live. I have about a half an hour or so before we have plans for the day, so I thought I'd come on and sew up the clear vinyl version of the Tuesday tote, which I've never done before. So I've pre-cut our materials and we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. I am super excited about giving this pattern a try. If you don't have it, head on over to Knotted Threads Co. And I picked up the bundle, which is the original tote pattern with the weekend add-on pack extras. And that's where the instructions for the clear vinyl, clear and jelly vinyl will come from. So I would suggest you grab the bundle while you're over there if you don't have it already. And we will go through our materials and then we'll get right into sewing. So we're doing the alternate strap option. So I do have our webbing from Wonderground fabric cut out to what the pattern specifies. And then we have our main panels in clear vinyl. And this is from Fabric Therapy. If you haven't checked them out, they have awesome stuff. So I'm excited about that. We're going a little teacher version, and then we're doing black jelly vinyl for our base. And this is from Indolove Creations. They also have amazing things if you haven't checked them out before. And I actually don't have enough jelly vinyl to go around the top binding at the end. So we're just going to use fold over elastic black, also from Wonderground fabrics. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is I prepped our webbing with double-sided tape per the instructions. So we're going to go ahead and get those taped onto our main clear panels at the measurements that are in the pattern. And then we will sew those on, and that'll be our first step. So we're just going to go ahead and we're taking our ruler and we're lining up with our edge. Peeling off our double-sided tape, which is sometimes the most challenging part of making a bag for me. So I'm just using my ruler with that measurement that it gives, and I'm lining it up with the straight edge. And I'm not showing the measurement on purpose, but I will show you what it looks like before we start to sew this. Oops, sorry, we were really close to my head there. And then we're just making sure that our webbing is not on the wrong side. And we'll go ahead and do that for the other side of the strap. Peel. So we were, I was doing dishes before this, and all of a sudden it started to blizzard and there was no snow in the forecast at all. And we got a weather alert that said up to an inch an hour. And I'm like, what? What? It stopped, but it's still. All right, so we have our first side stuck down. Just like that. And I actually realized that I forgot to switch to my black thread, so we're gonna do that really quick. I sew on a Juki TL 2010Q, and I used Hex 35 weight thread from Wizardry Stitchery. So we're just gonna do a quick change to black. Also sewing with a 9014 needle. I have been slowly adding colors to my Tex 35 thread collection. I'm excited to use them. Just gonna rethread really quick here. Glad I caught that before we started to sew. All right, we're in. Now we're ready. So also in the pattern, she gives you measurements for where to sew up to and sort of make your turn. So we're going to follow those measurements, and we're just going to sew up one side of our webbing. We're going to make our turn at her measurement, and then we're going to come down the other side. This is actually probably the longest part of the, from what I can tell. Like I said, I've never made it, but this seems to be the longest. So we're going to go at about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance up and down both sides of the webbing. Oh, we're a little blurry. Sorry about that. Hang on. Let me see. Ah, there we go. Sorry, guys. I hope you hung in there. Apologies. I think I fixed the blur. Yeah, sort of. I think. Okay. Sorry, guys. I hope that that's okay. If it's still blurry, let me know. I'm going to guess that a teenager went on a game somewhere in this house, and that's what happened, if I had to guess. So there's too many things happening on the internet at once. So again, sorry. Should be good now. Also, if you're on here and you're watching now or after it uploads and you have not subscribed yet, we are so close to 500. which is very exciting. So please go ahead and click the subscribe button if you haven't. Okay, first side is done. So what I did is I started down here at the bottom, which you technically wouldn't have to sew because it's going to be within the seam allowance of the base, but that way all of our back stitching is sort of hidden when you go ahead and put it all together. So that's our first side. This webbing is so cute. And so we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that we did. Not going to show the measurements. But we're going to measure for what it says in the pattern where we put the straps, and then we're going to sew those on. I also have a robot vacuum, and I can hear her trying to get into the studio. So what a great day it is. Internet issues, and the robot wants to clean exactly where I'm at. We have called her Roberta, which is amazing. We had another robot before whose name was Randy the robot, and he survived with us for a few years, but we've moved on to his sister, younger sister, Roberta, who sometimes goes over my patterns that I've left on the floor. That's amazing, but that's okay. At least I don't have to vacuum. Okay, so we're just pulling the double-sided tape off, which again is the hardest part of anything that I have to do when it comes to sewing because I can't get my nails under there successfully. Actually, okay, we're going to pull that up. So when I was doing this, I realized that my measurements were on the opposite side of our other panel. And so just to make them even, we are going to go ahead and swap them. So sorry, again, we're peeling. And we're just going to, sorry, checking the stream again. If you join us, say hello. All right, we're peeled. And we're sticking, and then we're gonna go ahead to the other side. And we will be good to sew, and then we're moving right along. All right, stuck down. We're gonna do the same thing that we just did on the front panel over here. gonna move the angle just slightly. There we go. Alright, so we are almost done. Alright, second handle side complete. Now we do need to add a back tag. So we're going to Heartwood and Hide bag full of goodies. We got a lot of colors. We're going to go with black. So normally when I'm sewing, what I would do is pick the side that's my favorite, but these look identical, so we don't need to do that. We can just go right ahead and find our center of our panel. Make a small little clip. And then we'll add some double-sided tape to the back of our bag tag. Peel it off eventually. I can't be the only person who struggles to peel back double-sided tape, right? Please tell me. Tell me there are others. All right, peeled. And then we will just take our center and line up our bag tag. So here we go in the center, and then we're just going to do a 1/8 inch stitch all the way around And then we can attach our base. Okay, done. We are just going to snip any extra thread on the front and the back, because obviously you'll see the back since it's clear. And then we'll use my favorite sewing tool, the lighter, just to burn any of those extra little threads. Okay. So the base piece too, I have pre-cut the centers because we're going to need that when we box our corners. So this, we're just attaching one side of our base panel to one of our front panels, right sides together. I'm going to clip all the way, and then I am going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. And so this is, you'll see this is going to come together super quick now that we have finished our handles. And so that is why I say the handles are the longest part. All right, clipped. Now we're going to sew 1/4 inch all the way down. And we're going to back stitch at the front in the end. Okay, we are sewn together, and then we are just going to flip our bottom panel, not our back panel, our bottom panel down. I'm just going to finger press this away from the top, and then we'll do a top stitch, 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then we'll attach our other panel. And one of the things that I always do when I'm sewing is just make sure that I stop and continue to keep the fabric pulled away from each other so that it gets all the way down. our top stitch is done. Looks good. So we're going to go ahead and attach our other panel to the opposite side of the base, just like we did before. So right sides together. Cutting some of our threads from earlier. It's important to do in these bags because obviously there's no lining, you'll see it. How are we doing? 27 minutes. Okay, so I have a little more than 30 in total. I guess we'll be pushing the limits. But we can do it. Okay, flipped. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. So we're going to sew on at a 1/4 inch, and then we will flip it and do an 1/8 inch seam allowance on the top stitch. Done. And now our top stitch on this side. This is so cute with the black webbing. I like it. Do our finger pressing. Okay. I'm just taking this and I'm just going to roll it up so that it fits nicely. I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Second top stitch is done. Looks good. I'm just going to check it for any more loose threads that we have to clean up. Again, we don't get to hide any of this, so this is why it's so important just to take a little extra time, burn away anything. Good. Okay. Next step is we are going to clip together the sides of our bags, and we're going to sew both, again at that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And here what we want to make sure, the most important thing is that where our base and our main panels meet, that those match up perfectly. Everything else you can match up after that, and if anything else is a little off, that's okay. But if you're off on your where they match up, that will be extremely obvious once you turn out your bag. So that's the most important part. And the great thing about TPU is that it sticks to itself. So it's already sort of together for you. Okay, same thing on the other side. We're just going to line up that important juncture first. And then we'll line up everything else based off of that juncture. Okay, clipped up. So we're going to go down both sides at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Oop, got a clip came off on the other side. Okay, one side done. We're going to flip it and sew the other side. Same way. Both sides are sewed together. And I actually think I might trim these up and bind them. You definitely don't have to, and many of the videos that I've seen, people don't. but let's give it a try. Let's see how it goes. Can't hurt, right? It can't hurt. So I'm just going to trim slightly so that we can get a good little bind going on. So just a teeny bit. I don't know if you can see, but my panels weren't exactly the same size, so I'm just going to trim off the stuff that isn't the same size, and then we will, for the first time ever, use our fold over elastic. We're going to bind the inside sides before we move on to boxing the corners. Could be terrible, but you know, it could be great. Who knows? We're going to find out together. We cut off our extra. So now I've seen people use this, and I think the trick is that you stretch it and then put it in place. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to see how that goes. I got plenty, so we won't run out. We'll have enough for the top, and I think it'll just give it a nice little finish. We'll see. And we're going to bind around the top anyways, so you won't see the unfinished edge of the elastic. Again, you don't have to do this. We could have done our corners, boxed our corners, and turned out our bag by now, but you know what? Why not? I guess I have more than half an hour. I guess I have more time. And then we'll just cut off at the bottom. Okay, let's try. And then we will do the other side. I actually love binding. I love it. It's my favorite. I've never done it on a tote bag, but first time for everything. Now we have a finished, well, more finished edge than we had before. The elastic was actually difficult. It did not stay where I put it, but that's okay. We're learning. We're learning. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and bind the other side the same way. I do like that it has like a middle. This fold over piece makes it super simple to just have, like, you know where you need to fold it, basically. So that's one good piece. Almost there. All right, so same thing. Just gonna bind down this side, and then we're gonna box our corners. Ooh. Well, I just popped off a heart gem from my finger. Casualty. Okay, other side is done. I like it, looks good. I think it'll give it that finished look that we are going for, even though there's no lining. All right, so the next step is we are going to box our corners. So this is why we made those center marks in our base panel. We're going to take those center marks and match them up with our edge. Basically, this is where our two panels on the top come together. That's our center. And we're going to match that with our middle of the base. And because we did the binding, we are going to have to make our seam go to one side or the other. So I'm going to have the seam go towards the back so that, I don't know why, I just feel like it's going to sit better like that. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're just going to clip. So we're clipped. We're going to do the other side while we're here so that we can sew together both edges. And we want to make sure that we go to the back with our seam on this side too, or else it'll make our bag sit lopsided. So that's really important to keep in mind. If you want your bag to sit flat, you have to make sure that your seams go in the same direction. Okay. We're clipped on both sides, so we're going to sew these together. And we're going to go about a 3/8 inch on the bottom. I like to go 3/8 so that we can just sort of clip off extra, and then we have a nice, more finished looking seam. Okay. Corners are done. All right. Now we turn it out and we just have the top to go. Could also bind the bottom corners, but I don't think we need to do that. It's my favorite part. Just gonna poke out the corners on the bottom. Okay, we're almost done. So now we just need to go around the top and put our fold over elastic as binding. Look at, see how it looks on the inside with our bound sides. It's perfect. I love it. All right, I'm gonna start on the back side. And we're just wrapping. Again, this fold over elastic, having that sort of line down the middle so you know where the middle is actually helpful when you're doing something right here on the top. And we're just making sure that we fold our seam towards the back like we did on the bottom. This will keep our bag even, and it's very important when you have an open bag that it sits evenly. we're going to bring this down so that it's easier for me to reach. Almost there. All right, we're going to cut our elastic so that it overlaps just a little bit and fold in our raw edge. Just trying to make them line up. Okay, all right. So our top's gonna have this nice black line around it, and we are just going to sew on our binding. I guess about 1/8 of an inch is what we'll do. Somewhere between obviously 1/4 and 1/8. We want it to be on there, but not off the binding. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we're just gonna go all the way around one time. I'm starting on the back somewhere sort of inconspicuous. Start over here. Because I have the walking foot on the Juki, it is quite large, and so you have to take off a good amount of clips, and I just like to pick the best spot to do that. All right, here we go. Okay, we had to cut it because we had come off a little bit of our bag. That's what happens sometimes. So just going to reattach it, and then I'm going to grab my stiletto so that I can make sure we keep everything all where it's supposed to be. Well, we're going to give that a go. Just going to start where I stopped previously. Almost, almost there. All right. So I think I don't like fold over elastic for binding, is what I have learned from this. But that's okay. Got our edges on all sides, so I'm just going to go ahead, burn off the extra threads, and then we are actually all done. Here she is. Oh, let's fix the bottom. Our super cute, super fast, clear vinyl, jelly vinyl, weekend add-on pack, alternate strap, Tuesday tote bag. So cute. And we did recut all the top pieces, so It took us a minute, but we got there. So we're all set. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Saturday. Apparently I needed more than a half an hour. Who knew? If you join afterwards, let me know if you've made this bag or not. And I appreciate all of you so much. We are so close to 500 subscribers. So if you find me and haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I appreciate all of you so much. Have an awesome Saturday, and I'll see you soon.